Welcome back, guys. You're still watching the VCT Game Changers Academy here in APAC, and this is the upper bracket finals already. We have concluded both upper bracket round number threes. We just witnessed the game between Hurricanes and NoGameSens, with NoGameSens taking the cake with such decisive fashion. Over on the other side of the bracket, though, Grammy, it was ChickenKebab who won against Ohana Excelsior. So it's gonna be ChickenKebab going up against NoGameSens, and we're going to be showcasing that up next.
I'm super excited for this matchup, right? Because we just witnessed the game between NoGameSens and Hurricanes, and NoGameSens had an amazing performance on the map of Fracture itself. They went 13-3 and basically a 9-3 half into a 13-3. That
Yeah.
means the Hurricanes, they didn't get a round of NoGameSens in their defending half. So NoGameSens, they're looking really strong here coming into this matchup against ChickenKebab, who are, I guess, a bit of an unknown factor coming into this.
Yeah. Of course, Honda Excelsior, by the way, and Hurricanes are not out of the competition yet. This is a double elimination bracket, so they will continue their run in the lower brackets and still have a chance to get to the lower bracket finals to face off whoever wins the upper bracket finals that we are going to be having right now. However, back to the matter at hand here, Grammy. Between these two teams, NoGameSens is a team that we witnessed just how well they perform, and based on their last performance in Fracture, I feel like they have a very, very solid grasp of just how the meta works right now. I mean, solely off of the composition and the way they played off of that composition, I feel like they really know what and why things work in the current state of the meta. And of course, I feel like that's going to play so deeply, so well into our next map, which is going to be Haven. Now in Haven, unlike in Fracture, I would argue that there is less room for creativity. But what do you think are the comps that we'll be seeing here, Remy?
I mean, I do want to see a Fade, and NGS Surfing,
Of
she's
course.
actually hovering that though. So the Fade Raze combination is so potent and so strong in this current meta, right? Just because of
Yeah.
the Seas and Paint Shells combination. If you get trapped within that Seas, you're just gonna get nuked by the Paint Shell. So
Mm-hmm.
a very dangerous situation for ChickenKebab here. But on the other side, though, they are gonna be picking up that Reyna already, which is a pretty interesting pick as a solo duelist, I think.
Yeah, exactly. But it does make a lot of sense though, because taking a look at their comp, it's very limited when it comes to aggressive tools. And the most important part of that is that they don't have any flashes. They actually don't have
Yeah.
an initiator in, or rather, they don't have that utility heavy initiator. They have info instead on the Sova, so it's sort of like a tribute to old meta,
Choose
I
your
Yeah.
guess.
ace.
And I'm not really sure how this is gonna play out against such a composition that is tried and tested over and over again in the current state of the game, right? I mean, you did mention the fact that the Fade and the Raze is taken has taken over the game completely, but you can never count out someone that is very confident in playing Arena,
Yeah.
and that is one of the things I'm really excited to see here on the ChickenKebab side. But I gotta say, NoGameSens, they're coming into this matchup with a lot of confidence, a lot of momentum. So it really is still a big question mark for me here, Graham.
I think No Game says they came into this with a lot of preparation. You can tell just
Exactly.
solely off their agent compositions and how they use their utility based on the agents that they're playing. But on the other side, though, of the server, ChickenKebab double Sentinel setup on the attack is pretty interesting to me here. It doesn't give them a lot of room, I would say, to try and kind of set the pace of the game itself, because just because they don't really have that duelist who's able to get themselves into like a position where you don't really expect them to be like maybe a Neon, a Jet, or a Race, that
Yeah.
movement based duelist. Instead, I do think they might go in for more defaults, slower gameplay here on his attacking side.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because they're starting on the attack. Two
Yeah.
Sentinels is not really ideal for this kind of setup. So they certainly are going to have to look for other opportunities to get themselves into sight. Okay, super bad. We didn't see anything. Didn't see anything happening there. But yeah, as you mentioned, Grammy, we expected this slow approach towards the A main, or rather the A long side, and Absolute will certainly be the one to lead the charge there. And without the recon bolt, they basically have nothing to get into this site apart from perhaps Arena Lear, and they only have one of those, so it's okay. There
Oh,
you go. The hunt spots
okay.
out just one member. That's actually pretty good here. Gonna draw a lot of attention though. As Absolute opens up the site, hoping to get a kill. Does get the first headshot. Instantly devours for extra bit of health. Second headshot in the works as Asui goes down, and Absolute opens up the side with that. But Seraphine still here, anchoring. Will get picked up by Meow, and just like that, Chicken Kebab proving us all wrong, taking control of site with relative ease here. It's down to a 2v4, but Cherry Pappy hoping to make it
Okay.
possible. Picks up a second headshot as she's down to 14 HP.
Remaining.
But Periwinkle, this is where it gets dicey. Chicken Kebab, 1v2. They're both 1 HP. All it takes is one shot from either the turret or Chicken Kebab. It's actually a done deal, but they do have the smoke. Spike is not planted for Chicken, so she has to peek up. But if she tries to secure the kill, the second one is done as well. Chicken Kebab saves the round for Chicken Kebab for the clutch and the pistol.
What a round coming in from Chicken Kebab. At first, I was like, okay, this is a bit of a dicey situation here for players of NGS because there's a turret looking straight at them and they're both at
Exactly.
a sliver of health. I was like, just one shot from this turret is just gonna take them out. And yep, Chicken Kebab's turret did take out one, but she was able to get that last kill as well, picking up that pistol round for her team. So coming into this Chicken Kebab, the team itself, they're able to buy up fully. Periwinkle though, interesting buy here.
Yeah.
Shorty coming through, but it seems to be on the wrong side of the map. Actually, all 5 players of Chicken Kebab, they're gonna be stacked up outside of C, running down after this owl drone as well. And it's all up to Seraph to try and hold down this side. She does get spotted out by the recon gun. Gets taken down by the Ares as well. And the site is gonna go to Chicken Kebab.
Spike planted.
Ares is too much firepower against these classics. Chicken Kebab is just holding the line here. 5v4 of course, and classics only. Perfect little peek from Absolute, almost taking out one of those opponents. Here comes out, and there goes the kill. Looking for more here. Atsui is next on the chopping block, but the next one is one that Absolute might not want to push. Periwinkle, remember, has the shorty. She has to watch out from behind. Getting pushed up now. Periwinkle, the last one. They've heard the shorty shot, but now they're just spamming away, trying to weed out this Omen. And round is done. The Chicken Kebab, a flawless one at that. Periwinkle will not even be able to find anything. And well, that round was unfortunate for Mutters there, but either way, Chicken Kebab walk off with their second off the half, or rather the game. But this is where it gets a little bit dicey. I mean, I feel like that round one, it really showcases the just how hard it is to pull off this kind of composition, because the only reason that they really took control of site is because Absolute got an amazing couple of kills. Now though, with the sheer lack of utility that they have to bust these sites open, this is where we get to see how Chicken Kebab really wants to approach these rounds. It starts off with a recon bolt that again doesn't work. So again, it's all down to the Lear and the smokes to get into sight. So I can't imagine how they're gonna pull it off without Absolute having to get a kill at least.
So Aftershock coming through as well to try and deny this push from coming in. Boombot to try and gather information. They are aware of a couple players lurking outside of A here, and you can see NoGameSens 3 players on the A side itself. It's gonna be a very tall task for the players of Chicken Kebab to try and advance into this side. So the spike is gonna be rotating. Oh, but Zenny takes out the first in the form of super bad.
Yeah,
So 4v5 situation right now. I think any kind of damage that Chicken Kebab can do to NoGameSens economy would be good.
exactly. And it's so hard as well once the Sova goes down.
Yeah.
It's literally the only utility that they have
30
apart from
seconds
the
left.
smokes. Try and draw some eyes away from their players. I mean, sure, it's the eco, but still, The goal here is to win the round. Leers are now coming out. Carry Poppy still in the site though. Just trying to get as much damage in. But they're still swarming the site. Absolute. Goes massive again. 2k, but that's all she gets. Seraphine to close out the round. And NoGameSens finally on the board. And this is... Yeah, I really doubt that the next coming rounds is going to pan out any differently from round number 2. Because despite... Yeah, you could argue that it was just the bonus round right there in round number 3, but it's just competitive here, Grammy. I'm still just not convinced how ChickenKebab is gonna be able to pull this off. Of course, Absolute is gonna have to try her darndest to get as much kills as she can with as little utility as she can. She does have the Empress though. She activates it immediately. She does get concussed, and just like that, look, Grammy, they can't get into sight. Just one piece of utility, and they're instantly slowed down. Imagine if they threw everything there. It could have signaled disaster immediately for GameSens. For ChickenKebab, sorry.
Seems like it's gonna be a 5v5 retake though, so flank might come through here. Zenny does get spotted out by the Alambo, so they are aware. The spike plan going down on C side. Zenny is the one who picks up the first kill.
Yeah.
So numbers advantage. Even the out by Absolute once again with this Empress able to get it back up and running as well. Paranoid to come through as the retake.
Check the corner, Zenny.
Oh, Zenny! Unfortunately for her, he doesn't quite take the corner, and Absolute is going absolutely insane on the site itself, trying to stall as much time, and she gets the round. 4 kills on the board. Harry Poppy gets taken down. 3 points for ChickenKebab. What a buy round coming in from both these teams.
Zenny with a bit of a mishap there. She actually clears it, but by jumping. Barely clears as well. And yeah, I was talking about this is gonna be hard unless Absolute pops off. And I guess I have my answer. That's what their game plan is. Absolute go kill.
Absolute go kill. Okay.
Exactly. Absolutes. Just go in sight, murder everyone, and hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. However, though,
at the rate that she's performing right now, she could have an Empress every other like third round or something. And looking at the performance from that previous round itself, 4 kills with the Empress. So getting that online could be the key for ChickenKebab here. It's interesting how they're playing this though. They're not really going in for default. Instead, they're always 5 stacking a side. And I do think NoGameSens, they kind of recognize this now, since they do have 3 players stacked up on this A side itself. Prowler to come through to try and get her information. Absolutes once again tip up the spear, going in for his team. Unfortunately, does get flashed up by the flashpoint. Unfortunately for her, he's gonna fall too bad, and I meow you. They actually pick up a couple of kills here. The resurrection to come through.
No!
Showstopper though! Oh no! Zenny able to take out 2 with a showstopper, trying to even out the numbers here. As an answer to that, with 3 kills in a round, she picks it up for her team and able to get that Vandal upgrade as well. So this is not what I expected from ChickenKebab at all.
Me neither. I mean, of course, that was the eco after all, but I feel like that still showcases just how unique of a playstyle this type of comp brings to the table. I mean, sure, ChickenKebab looks so good right now, but it feels very fragile to me, right? It feels like the tiniest drop, the tiniest mistake could signal disaster for them. So they really have to play very, very, very carefully, very, very perfectly, and very consistently, and keep this tempo up to keep finding that success. Because look, once one paranoia maybe hits them up, or one flash hits all of their players, or just like that when we saw how immediately Absolute got shut down because of just one flash point. It's a very delicate type of playstyle for them.
Zenny though seems to want to go exploring.
Yeah.
Holding her position. Watching the cross here, she does hear a couple of players. Unfortunately, the shot doesn't connect. I meow you finish off that kill, and players of NoGameSens, they're aware that there are quite a number of players outside of A right now, so the rotations are coming in. Our drone as well. Sees, trying to deny. Oh, it's two. He picks up one with that aftershock. How? I think Superbad was kind of droning, right? And
Yeah.
a bit of an unfortunate situation. He had sweet for
Oh,
an, on
absolutely.
another, the third as well, the chicken kebab. 11 health to a name, but that stops the execute from coming through.
30 seconds left.
That's just it. Once the dart has been exhausted, they got nothing to open up the site.
Last player
And once
standing.
Atsui's in there, you know she's going to clean it up. Periwinkle picks up reverts. Guy Poppy's last line of defense here in Seaside before the reinforcements come in, but Meow Yu will be able to shut her down. Immediately traded out though by Periwinkle. And NoGameSens back on the board, 2-4, and yeah, it's very, very hard to keep this up for ChickenKebab. Absolute Z, a lot of pressure is on her, not just because she's the Reina, but because the way they have to open the site is they have to get a kill. That's basically how it
Yeah.
works. And Absolute Z really has to win that first duel every single time for them to effectively even push into a little bit of control. And once she doesn't get anything, that's where things start to fall apart for ChickenKebab. I mean, now, of course, the eco. Seraphine is in the one holding the line in C site. She does get revealed by the recon bolt, but she shuts down Absolute. And again, that is enough to stop the push altogether from happening. Look, everyone's scrambling for their life.
Not only that, Meow is gonna get tagged up here. They do have the healing off to work with though, so not all is lost, but once Absolute falls, they have no
Backup
way
plan.
to try and get up. Yeah, there's no backup plan to try and recover this. Surfing for another onto the Sova as well, so it's a very difficult situation for ChickenKebab. They don't have the utility that gathers them information. Periwinkle, good for another.
Meow Yu, just a classic in hand. Marshall on one of...
30 seconds
Oh,
left.
okay, no.
No.
So-
One enemy remaining.
okay, she does clear up the corner, but the gun diff is going to be working out in favor of Atsui. And there we have it, the flawless from from NoGameSens. They're catching up here in ChickenKebab. I talked about the fragility of their playstyle, but another thing that really makes it hard for them is that they don't have a lot of flexibility. They could do one thing. I mean, at least on this attacking side, they can only do a couple of strategies that really, if it doesn't work, they got no backup plan, as you mentioned, Grammy, earlier. And one of the things that they could counteract that is by playing for picks, playing for defaults. But with the way that they approach these rounds, it's constantly the A stack, constantly the A hits. That seems like they're refusing to go for defaults just because they really have to, or they really are banking on that sort of pinpoint of the spear playstyle with Absolute at the helm. So far, NoGameSens are slowly adapting to that playstyle. Aldron already used Recon Bolt is down as well, so Absolute C. Okay, now that the smokes have gone down, she has to use the Leer to get into sight. But look, everyone's already here. Lockdown is going to be invested just to try to get themselves into sight. Absolute, okay. A Terror going into sight, forcing it wide open. And she's already had a good performance again. Enough to pivot their way into side control. But NoGameSens 2v4. So ChickenKebab again able to find success with that playstyle that is very signature of them. Can they hold strong though with Absolute playing the close angle? Creeped up. The Periwinkle to shut her down. 2v3. This is very doable now that Absolute Z is down. A fair bit of utility to work with. Have their smokes up and running as well. Superbad gets blacked out. Carry Pappy picks up one. Traded out by Superbad. Oh, unable to connect the shots a little bit iffy, but Periwinkle sends it down. 1v1 has to go for the tap though because the orbital strike is gonna be there. Has no clue where Ao Meow Yu is, so there's gonna be the insurance that ChickenKebab wins the round, but the damage is gonna be there. Periwinkle for the 3k, and ChickenKebab 5 on the board, but is their eco gonna be there, Grammy?
seems to be the question here. Heavy investment coming through for Chicken Kebab and orbital strike as well as the lockdown, and yeah, it seems like they're not gonna have the economy to work with this time around. The sheriff's buy and the Ares coming through, they do have the Hunter's Fury to work with, which might be the key here, that the best shot that they have to try and utilize and bring this back, because Absolute Z with this sheriff, and I don't think the Empress is particularly good for this situation, and really off the bat, Chicken Kebab, they're gonna get spotted out lurking outside of C. So I mean, I've noticed that they either go for the A stack or the C stack, and then it's like every alternating round.
Yeah.
So I do think they could try for like maybe a B hit or somewhere else
Yeah.
instead of going in for a 5-man push, go in for a split push on a couple of sides of the map instead.
Yeah, actually kind of expecting them to go for B more frequently because
Yeah.
that's where the Sage comp shines.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just conditioning the players of NoGameSens right now until they decide to hit B over and over again later on. But for now, they're just sticking to their roots. Absolute Z. Slowly clearing each angle.
30
Carry
seconds
Poppy
left.
in the back line. Can't TP away for safety, and there she goes. And again, Absolute C and Chicken Kebab take control of site. Plant is gonna be here, but the post plant is really where they start to struggle. Remember, even though it's already a struggle for them to get into site, post plant is a completely different matter. Periwinkle goes in for the TP! And that's a very ballsy one at that. Rolling Thunder gonna be used up though, as NoGameSens try to force their way into site. Carry Poppy gets that kill. And the other one is done as well for Seraphine. It's 2v3. Chicken Kebab picks up the upgrade for herself, but she won't be able to pick up a kill with it. It's the Ares that almost makes it work for Murmur. You know what, Remy? Let's discuss how to read that name.
Okay, great.
Mum. I need a little bit of help there.
Muters.
I want to
think.
call. Let's just call her Mama.
Okay, that works.
Mama.
Yeah, even though the site goes to Chicken Kebab, the ultimates that the players of NoGameSens had, it just set them on for the retake. They had a Nightfall, they had a Rolling Thunder, which they both committed, and that even from the shadows to come through from Periwinkle to try and cause a little bit of chaos and confusion on the side of Chicken Kebab, just so that they had a bit more things to look at and try and focus on. So this time around though, Empress gonna be utilized by side of Chicken Kebab, but Zenny off the back of the paint shells, they would pick up one onto Momo. Right?
Again, it's the A stack. It's the A stack here, Grammy. Chicken Kebab. Sort of almost stubborn fashion again. Go for hits,
Oh,
but the
no.
bullets just not enough for Absolute Z. Just like that. Their assault is
down
faltering
A.
here. Spike as well is in no man's land. And Chicken Kebab. Well, at least credit where credit is due here, Grammy. They are keeping it close despite the challenges that are presented to them. Albeit those challenges are
Bring them down.
made by themselves, I guess, in a sense. They still are keeping it a close game here, 5-5 here, unless they decide to pull off a miracle. But there you go, NGS with the flawless, and the break bank again of Chicken Kebab. Absolute Z this time finding no luck with the Empress, and NGS slowly catching up. They know now what to do to deal with Absolute Z, and what to do to deal with Chicken Kebab's sort of approach. And they're making it work.
But Chicken Kebab, they're not really switching up their approach though. They're still kind of huddled together, heading towards the A side this time around, it seems. Once again, the A hit has been working on and off for them, so it's no surprise that they try and go in for this. This time though, the recon not gonna land, but instantly gets taken out by Etsui, so no information gained from them. Coming in from sewers this time around. Might catch these players off, but Zenny with the paint shells. Not even cause any damage. Any sort of damage. Does pick up the kill onto Absolute.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh, what?
Huh?
Doesn't get the hit on anything. I think she hit the wall there on the left side, but super bad, actually 5 HP, barely surviving that encounter.
They do have the resurrection though.
Yeah, they do. But I don't think they have the guns, Grammy, so I'm not sure if they're gonna want to commit that! Hey, now I'm sure they don't. Seraphine picks up 2. And Mama is gonna try to find as much damage as she could, but if they go for the B hit, Periwinkle is lying in wait with open arms just around the corner.
30 seconds left.
Oh, they steer clear of B site. They seem to have a pretty good idea that it's still very well defended, and they're still staying true to the tone of the A to C choices. It seems like B doesn't exist to them at all here.
10 seconds
Yeah,
left.
Haven. Who needs 3 sides of Haven? We just need 2. Just A and C. I suppose C does come through from Seraphine here. Yeah, gets that kill onto Mama as well, but
What?
Miaoyu with 2 of her own Frenzy and Incendiary to cause some damage here with Periwinkle
How
from
did
the
she-
flank. I have no clue.
Where did she throw that molly at, huh?
I think it was CT.
Is diffused.
Looking at the X. Then
Oh.
there might be a smoke there.
Yeah, perhaps.
Last round before the switch.
6 points on the board for NoGameSens. Last buy round for ChickenKebab.
Zenny going down. Unfortunate circumstance there. Unable to get anything with a showstopper, but Seraphine with the cleanup. And yeah, there's a chance here for the equalizer here for the Kebab squad. Especially because they saved up in the last round. And you know what? I have to commend them, Grammy. We expected this game to work out in a very different manner.
Yeah.
But I certainly didn't expect it to go to a potential 6-6 going into the second half. And it seems like they aren't really banking as much on the Reyna as I thought they would. Even though the scoreline doesn't necessarily reflect that. It certainly feels like even though the Reyna goes down, even if it's at a numbers deficit, ChickenKebab are still able to keep these rounds close. That NoGameSens aren't realistically getting as much momentum as they hoped for.
A gift.
I think what's interesting about NoGameSens is that they actually put the Raze and the Breach on one side instead of the Raze and Fade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as a Breach, I do think there are a couple of power positions that you can really play to try and have your fault line do as much, like exert as much control over like most of the map. You can
Yep.
reach towards garage or B from the A side itself. So pretty interesting to see NoGameSens how they're actually playing this Breach. Odin though, sprays coming through. Zenny is aware of this. A-shells. They're waiting.
Bomb buddy out.
Gonna get some chip damage, but that's all. That's about all. I mean, even ChickenKebab, they might not be able to open up the site as of yet, but they might be able to open up the sky once the spike plan does go down in
Yeah.
their favor, though.
Shakhtar's trying to weed out Zenny. They know that Zenny's just around the corner, but does Zenny know there are 3 Odins right in front of her? Or 1 Odin, 3 guns rather. Okay, there you go, Mama. Going out. Nano Swarm. Zenny really has to get out of here, but she decides not to leave. Doesn't want to risk it. Smoke came out a little bit too late. Resurrect is going to be used to keep ChickenKebab in this round. 4v5, NoGameSens slowly getting dismantled
30
in
seconds
this
left.
A site. ChickenKebab going for the C site rotate. They have enough time to do so, but Curry Poppy does have the op. And I don't think they have
no.
any smokes left. Once they peek, oh, Carry Poppy a bit too slow on the swing. Gonna go for the repeat though. Lear is not gonna let her find anything yet, but she goes in and finds one. Miaoyu goes down, and Periwinkle spots out that lurking Soba. ChickenKebab gonna go in for the plant, but the Time is barely enough. The Onin goes down. And it's all down to Chicken Kebab now to save this round. But NoGameSens deny it. 7-5 going into the second half. And they pick up the last round of this half.
It was really close coming in from Chicken Kebab, but NoGameSens, they really adapted to how Chicken Kebab have been playing, right? Because once their A execute doesn't work, they go to C. There's no doubt about that. And they know that. We already see Carry Puppy and Periwinkle. After the Chicken Kebab execute on the A side didn't work out, you already see them on the C side as well as the garage window position. So very well read from them here. And coming into this next half though, Chicken Kebab, they do have a little bit more of a defensive composition in terms of Sentinels themselves with that Killjoy and the Sage. But NoGameSens, with the utility combinations as well as their mechanical skills, I do think they should be able to open up these sites here.
Absolutely. If the Fracture game was of any indication, their proficiency when it comes to utility usage is just on another level. It shouldn't be too hard of a task for them to gain control of sites, but we gotta remember here, Graham, it's a double sentinel comp for Chicken Kebab, so it might not be as easy as it sounds like. But right from the get-go, look at just how differently NoGameSens approaches this attack. A lot of mid presence. Not once did we see this from Chicken Kebab.
Yeah. Do get some chip damage on a couple of these players though. It seems like they want to regroup and head towards this A site. I think what's interesting is that Chicken Kebab, the player herself, she doesn't buy her utility. She only has the turret set up on the C side, so the Nano Swarm and Alarm Bot are like kind of nowhere to be found. Okay. A little bit of a bait and switch here coming in from NoGameSens with 35 seconds left on the clock. Seems like they're going to head towards the C site instead.
Yeah.
With a turret is still waiting for them.
Exactly. Might just be enough. Spots out one player in garage. Haunt comes out. Chicken Kebab still undetected, and she finds one before biting the dust. But NoGameSens still get the plant either way. So 3v4, and here comes the retake from Chicken Kebab. Actually, biding their time. They're gonna go in now, fully swarming Periwinkle, who will go down. Let's pick up one. Absolute Z, a terror to behold as she picks up another. And Carry Pappy, everything on the line here for her. On this pistol round, 17 HP. Yeah, there's no way she's gonna be able to survive this or deny the plants. And of course, it's because Absolute Z was a terror on that retake. And from the get-go there, you can see just how much prep goes into this attack from NoGameSens. But when it comes to the raw firepower, Remy, it's still Absolute Z to come out on top. It's still Chicken Kebab that wins the retake just because of how good they are at dueling.
Yeah, especially since how one of the fundamentals of I think any FPS game itself is the idea of trading, right? And Absolute Z, even though her teammates do fall, she's able to trade them out. So that was very well done from here. And coming into this next round, they are going to be able to buy up a couple of guns here. So once again, default coming through for the players of NoGameSens. Trying to pick and prod where they might want to go in for this execute owl drone to come through. Does spot out a player outside of garage, so they're aware that NoGameSens, they're actually taking this a little bit slower. Oh, on the other side of this wall though, Periwinkle, a little bit dangerous here.
I can feel Absolute getting iffy. She wants to take those fights, but NoGameSens really setting the tempo here. Remember, this is an eco round. This is a pistol round for them.
Right here.
But even so, taking it as methodically as they can. Oh, a lot of pings being made into A site. I wonder what triggered that actually. I'm not sure if they committed any bit of utility here from the NoGameSens side, but seems pretty decided that they want to hit into B site. Short range weaponry working in their favor for the 1-for-1. Spectre. Uh-oh, Seraphine might not be expecting just how close Superbad is. He will be shut down. The Frenzy not
Oh,
able to
no.
secure the kill, so Superbad still survives and
Enemy
gets them
remaining.
both.
Spike down
7
B.
seconds left. Zenny's the last woman standing here. Alarm bot gets triggered, and she's not even going to be able to find a single kill. Chicken Kebab, 7 on the board, bringing us into the equalizer. But NoGameSens get themselves into the gun round, so this is where it really starts here for NoGameSens. I'm really excited to see how they're going to approach this attack, because so far it feels like it's already very, very prepared for them. But in this gun round is where they're really gonna show the proper tempo that they want to execute. And I'm also excited just how Absolute Z is going to try and shut that down, because look, despite just how much success Absolute Z has found in these duels, she isn't necessarily going for anything super aggressive. Look, she's just anchoring a site.
Which I do think is pretty interesting though, especially as a Reyna on defense. Paint shells though coming through to try and clear Superbad's position out. You know where she is. Zenny and Atsui. Very Puppy as well, able to pick up those frags. So 3 members
Spike
down on the
planted.
side of Chicken Kebab as the rotations are gonna be coming through as well. But with 2 members left alive and not a lot of
Enemy
retake
remaining.
utility available, Periwinkle as well from his off angle up above, able
Wow.
to pick up both those kills and shut it completely down. Flawless round coming through for NoGameSens.
Yeah. And the utility comp just at full shine right there. Go
enemy
taking
remaining.
control of the site, opening up C. Not even losing a single member in that encounter. As clean as it could get here for NoGameSens. 8-7 now. And it's just so close between these two teams. I wonder just how much or rather, I wonder look at just how much faith they have on Absolute here in A site. They constantly leave her alone here. It's always the bit of a backup here in A link with the Sage. There's some a lot of noise being made by NoGameSens trying to take control of A site, but they don't necessarily have to commit here
wow.
because they have that utility. But either way, they go in for the fight plan. Absolute Z gets digged twice, but she gets the kill.
Spike planted.
And now she's looking in for more. Mama from up above. They don't smoke heaven actually.
Enemy remaining.
Oh no! The Odin
Of this
doing so much
damage.
damage. Harry Puppy 1v2 situation here is gonna get spotted out as well. Nano Swarm, Alarm Bot, and Shock that all to deny with space from her. Has to wait for this push, but Chicken Kebab is ready for it and shuts her down. Once again, Chicken Kebab evening out the scoreline here.
Only used to didn't have any smokes left, which is why this play from Momo was made possible. Gary Poppy last one standing, unable to find the closure. And again, boil back down to the stark difference between the playstyles of these two teams. On the one hand, you've got a team with such heavy firepower on Absolute Z and, well, the whole team in general. But NoGameSens, look at how close their scores are. It's mostly because they're so good at playing off each other. They're so good at playing off their utility.
You
But
want
when
to
it comes
play?
to
Let's
raw
play.
aiming duels, it's Chicken Kebab that's just coming out on top. And that's why this competition works. However, when they get the read right like this,
Oh.
it's certainly gonna make it easier for them to anchor these sites. Of course, Periwinkle shutting down Superbad makes it so that they can open up the sites. And there you have it. Plant is now coming in. Absolute C does have the ulti though, so the Empress mode now being activated means that they have to play conservatively. Not give these isolated fights, but so she has to clear every single corner. And without any flashes, she's just gonna go down. 9-8 Periwinkle with the 4K. A beautiful performance in that seaside take. And NoGameSens take themselves one step closer to the double digits.
One enemy remaining.
You can really see how just the diligence that NoGameSens they have in clearing all these angles, right? Like even though Zenny does fall initially, there's the follow-up coming in from Periwinkle, which I do think is different from how Chicken Kebab have been playing their attack. You see one member on site, but the rest are gonna get shut out by that utility coming in from NoGameSens themselves. So NoGameSens, they are really able to play their trades here. Absolutely. Oh no!
Oh.
Unfortunately, does not pick up anything at all. Carry Poppy to take her out, but valiant effort nonetheless. Let's get dinked up though here. Seraphine down to half health, but the rotation is coming through already. The spike making its way towards the seaside. Chicken Kebab, they don't have the read on this at all. They've rotated all 4 players towards the A side, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be a very difficult retake coming in for them.
Spike planted.
Spike now coming in. Chicken Kebab scrambling around the map, trying to find any stragglers, trying to find where they could potentially make the entrance into C site. First contact is gonna be in grass, and Seraphine gets the timing against Mama. The first his way into garage as well, probably revealing the position of Miao Yu, so Seraphine just gonna be playing conservatively. So there's a lot of utility as well. Meow finally goes down. Chicken Kebab.
Player standing.
Yeah, just looking for as much damage as they can, but it's looking like a flawless again. Super bad though, with a nice double dink. Denying that flawless, but not denying the double digits. NoGameSens 10-8. And they seemingly are finding their footing once more. Timeout coming in from Chicken Kebab here. So maybe this is where they pull out all the stops.
They do have a couple of key ultimates to work with here. Lockdown, Orbital Strike, Hunter's Fury, all good for denying plants, as well as the Resurrection to try and bring a player back up as in the situation that she doesn't fall herself. But on the side of NoGameSens though, they have the ultimates to be able to execute onto the site. The Rolling Thunder in combination with a Nightfall is going to be so strong, but whether or not they'll be investing them both in one round or they want to go spread it over a couple of rounds might be a bit of a difference maker, because with the Nightfall though, you still can combine it with maybe an Omen Shrouded Step or the Raise Satchels, Raise Paint Shells as well. So I think it might. I'm not sure how NoGameSens will play this, but they might look to go aggressive this time around.
That's a good
Maybe.
spot.
I mean, they do have a lot of options available, and especially with the impact that Periwinkle has found, not just with the utility, but with the frags. Look at him. Look at her, sorry. Got the most kills in the server. And actually the most kill participation as well on the team. Shrouded Step plays absolutely possible here for the Omen. NoGameSens taking it slowly. Seraphine. Oh, the Odin! Little bit too late on the pullout. And Mama goes down without even getting anything. Absolute Z though. Finds one before tucking away from the site. But still gonna give away the site into the hands of NoGameSens. So the plan is gonna be here. It's gonna be another retake for Chicken Kebab. And at least they do have a lot of their utility available, but with Absolute Z going down, it's gonna be a very hard task here. Very little utility. 3v3, 1 HP left on Miao Yu. But it's still absolutely possible here. I'm not sure they have any old. They do have the Hunter's Fury available, but the lockdown is not available. And with Seraphine's Nightfall up, they can absolutely still weather the storm for NGS. So much utility being pumped out. Chicken Kebab gets the timing off. Seraphine, you cannot reload at that time. But the time is picking up. It's slowly ticking away here. NoGameSens, all they have to do is buy it to Chicken Kebab. Unable to secure the defuse in time. They give up a gun as well. The clutch is done for NoGameSens as they work their way into match point.
The alert coming through from Periwinkle to take out Absolutes was the key to shutting down the retake coming in from Chicken Kebab there, because once their main fragger, main duelist went down, it was so difficult for them to re-enter the site, especially with the Fate utility that sees, as well as the fall line coming through for Atsui there. So very well played to NoGameSens. But Chicken Kebab, they have to find an answer to this approach that NoGameSens is taking this game to.
Oh. Oh, meow!
Face your fear!
Goes in for the redip. Unable to estimate just how far forward she steps up for the smokes.
Spike planted.
And just like that, they get the spike down. I mean, the lockdown is gonna be there, but at this point, NoGameSens don't really want to stay into side kebab! Unfortunate swing right there. And the lockdown gets destroyed as well. So they don't even have to leave site. Absolutely is isolated here. And the timing almost works perfectly for Zenny. It's all falling apart for Kebab. And NoGameSens making it look perfect. Okay, super bad. At least he's gonna be able to find one, but she's down 4 HP. And look at the swing from Zenny as well. NoGameSens at match point, and Chicken Kebab is falling apart
Match
here for
point.
me.
That's two key ultimates invested. The blind Hunter's Fury not connecting onto anyone at all, I think. A bit of a misplay there. But it was aimed towards the default plan, but I think the timing just wasn't right for Superbad right there.
One enemy remaining.
Match point on the board for NoGameSens.
Time to explode.
Chicken Kebab, they have so much on their shoulders right now. Try and bring it back. Well, this tempo change coming in from NoGameSens though. All 5 members heading towards the A site.
Off your feet!
Rolling Thunder coming right up here. Open up this side. Orbital Strike used a little bit early here, preemptively, but Meow doesn't get the shots off. Pivotal ones at that. It's Seraphim to open it up. Just like that, A site is warmed by the
Spike
members
planted.
of NoGameSens. Spike's already gone down, and look at the eco of Chicken Kebab. It's in shambles here. But they absolutely have to try their best to force their way into sight here. Absolutely leading the charge, and she gets taken down. Seraphine for the 3K. And it's all down. Just one member, Chicken Kebab. Can you save the team? The namesake, can you live up to it? And she can't.
Attackers
Seraphine
win.
for the 4K finish. And NoGameSens advance into the grand finals.
What a game we had on our hands right there. NoGameSens absolutely taking those couple of last rounds to the limit. Seraphine on the top of the scoreboard.
Wow.
13 to 8 scoreline. I think once NoGameSens they found the pace of the game, they found their footing on the attack, there was no stopping them anymore.
Yeah.
And with the utility that Chicken Kebab had, it was very difficult for them to like kind of stall this advancement as well, because I think Momo, a couple of times she was caught out with her utility, and I think the timings just weren't in her favor that game.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that game as well, NGS took a little bit of time to become online, because I feel like they got a little bit shell-shocked by the opener by Absolute Z. I think they're just as they're at the same sort of mental state going into this game as the same as we are. I mean, the composition being so different, and how they have so much more to offer in terms of utility compared to the composition of Chicken Kebab. But with absolutely storming the gates so strongly for Chicken Kebab, I think NoGameSens really faltered in a sense. But when they realized just how powerful they could and just how much they could do against this comp that is very limiting from Absolute Z and the Chicken Kebab gang, that's when they started becoming online. That's when they started steam rolling, and that's when the momentum just didn't stop for NoGameSens. Definitely a team to watch out for in the grand finals. And of course, they are in the grand finals. They are running for the grand prize. So now we have to determine who's going to be facing up against them in the lower brackets, which, by the way, still haven't been concluded who is going to be facing up against Chicken Kebab. But that's it. That's our second game of the day. Can't wait to see what the next game is going to be. But NoGameSens performance, absolutely consistent performance across the board so far. Before we head on into the next game, though, we'll just be having a quick break. Datum here, casting with Grammy Z, and we will be right back with VCT Game Changers Academy for APAC.